Welcome back for another video. I'm really sad that I have to make this video for you guys because this will definitely ruin some of my strats in PvP. So watch till the very end because what we're gonna talk about today will definitely get you more wins in PvP ranked. By the way guys, our goal is to reach 6k subscribers eventually, but ultimately our goal is to reach 100k subscribers, and anyone who is subscribed to AB Play's channel before 100k subscribers will have an OG role that they can have. And basically what that means is you can say that you are here early. Subscribe right now and help us reach 100k subs and claim your OG badge. Alright, so first and foremost, I want to mention that there's only really one unit, and that's going to be the top one unit that's really a must ban, that you genuinely cannot not ban. This unit is a unit that you really have to ban. The other 5 units are high priority units, but they're not really must bans, and you can still counter. However, the top one is a unit that if you do not ban, you most likely will lose. So at number 6, we have Salter. Saber Alter is, in my opinion, pretty insane for PvP, especially because he's immune to status ailments like stun and immune to status debuffs like energy drain, has a pretty high DPS, but on top of having a pretty high DPS and whatnot, he also has a pretty good passive of being able to slow down enemies by 20%. As you can see right here, one of his passives is all enemies within 70% of this unit's range are lowered by 20%. So this right here, any enemy unit that's within this range will be slowed by 20%, and you can see them getting much slower, as you guys can see right there. Now it's not really showing here, but I'm gonna try and, you know what, I'm not gonna do that, but you can just see that in the passive right here it says slowed by 20%. So every enemy that is within this range right here of this purple thing right here is slowed by 20%. Which is actually not really that high, but in my opinion it's pretty good, especially because if you take into consideration that this unit is immune to status ailments and status debuffs. What that means is she is immune to energy drain and stun, which is very good for PvP. And then also she has a pretty early full AoE ability that you can have. As you can see right here, this is full AoE, which is pretty nice. But also this stun, this slow right here, this 20% slow that she has is actually a full AoE slow. So that's one of the things that makes her really great. That full AoE slow is really useful. So that's why she's at number 6. And then at number 5 we have Smith John. Smith John is an insanely powerful unit in my opinion, because Smith John, really one of the things that makes him really overpowered is going to be this assassination ability, which deals 600% more damage on the next attack to the highest enemy HP in range. Which means if you spawn red ant, for example, that has like 1000 HP multiplier and maybe has fast and maybe has something like strong, you spawn that in and use assassination, Sid will target that unit and deal 600% more damage to that. As you guys can see right there, he lost a bunch of HP, which is actually really nice. Obviously you can also switch to Sid, and Sid actually has a full AoE, and the full AoE is pretty insane because he also has a nuke. The number 4 we have Soul, or Not Good Guy. Not Good Guy is really insane because not only is his DPS absurdly high, on top of having really low upgrade cost. So the upgrade cost for him to max is 73,900. The upgrade cost for Sung Jinwoo Vanguard to max is 104,000. The upgrade cost for Lefelt to max is 105,000. The upgrade cost for Sid to max is 99,000. So as you guys can see right here, Not Good Guy is really cheap, while having one of the highest DPS in the game when his Dragon Install farm is activated. So also, on top of all of these things, when Dragon Install is activated, he can't get stunned and he can't get the energy drained. On top of that, he also, upon killing an enemy inflicted with burn, spawn that enemy to your opponent's side. So he will spawn in enemies to your opponent's side if they are killed with burn, which is absolutely insane. If you don't know how PvP works yet, that's very crazy. So he has high DPS, has a great PvP passive, can't get stunned in his Dragon Install farm, is pretty cheap, and is overall just a great unit. Now the top 3 units are, in my opinion, pretty high priority, but especially number 2 and 1, right? So number 3 we have Lucy. Lucy is really great because of her ability to apply Nullify. Essentially what Nullify is, it counters Overshield. That yellow HP that you can see right there, Lucy will counter overshield. Lucy will counter overshield, and it will make it so that enemies with overshield, which is the yellow HP, will be killed much faster. And a pretty great strat in PvP is using overshield. And if you have someone like Lucy, that's basically a strat that you can't really use that much anymore, because Lucy can absolutely destroy that overshield with her nullify ability. And also, as a matter of fact, she is a full AoE unit, and this unit is also an electrical unit, or spark unit, sorry, which means she can't get hit by energy drain either, which is just really, really nice. So this unit is absolutely goated, extremely powerful unit, and definitely very, very high priority, because of there's only really two counters to overshield. One is her, and the other one is another unit that I'll probably make a separate video about. But yeah, she's a really great unit for PvP. Top 2 is going to be the second highest priority to ban in the game, and that is going to be none other than Bion. So Bion Ronin, as you guys can see right here, is extremely powerful. She has a very high damage DPS. Now this is with Monarch, okay? So as you guys can see right here, performs a counter dealing 20% of this unit's damage, can trigger tethered. So when this unit is inflicted with a status effect or debuff, she will perform a counter, which basically means that you can't really stun this unit. So I'll spawn in an enemy right now and try to stun her. And as you guys can see right there, she can't really get stunned. Even though, okay, they have 198 million HP, which is absolutely stupid. But they can't stun her, as you can see right here. They can't get stunned by her. And also, she has this passive, which is switch between two chain types, Chain Club and Chain Claw. And Chain Club attack repulses enemies. And the Chain Claw, I believe, will attach enemies for 4 seconds. Attach enemies cannot leave this unit's range, which is just absolutely crazy. The fact that they can't leave this unit's range. Like, how broken is that? So yeah, with all of her passives and support capabilities, especially in PvP, as you guys can see right here, she actually has the capability to stun in PvP as well, the capability to counterattack enemy units, deflecting status effects back onto them, a ton of just very powerful things that she can do. Now the number 1 unit is going to be the Felt, and I think I'm just gonna actually show you, instead of giving you an example, instead of telling you why this is a must ban unit, I'm just gonna show you why. Alright, here we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spawn an enemy, non-boss enemy, with a multiplier as high as it can possibly be. We're just gonna spawn in like maybe 5 of them, and then we're gonna do just red ant. Okay, so as you guys can see right here, these enemies have 181 million HP, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that, use his ability, and essentially what that does is actually, okay, did that kill them? Or yeah, it turned them into a ally, as you guys can see right here. But now, all of them are spawned in with 45 million. So, by the way, one thing to take into consideration, this is significantly higher than Songjinwoo Vanguards Arise. Songjinwoo Vanguards Arise, I believe, cannot get as high as that. Like, me, yeah, I think it can, depending on the enemy. But it would take, like, literally wave 1000 of infinite before it can get to as high as something like 45 million here. And it's not just, they can use this ability right here to essentially counter that. By the way, ignore the damage and DPS. I modified it in Sandbox for the showcase, but this one right here is untouched. Okay, so if Love Shot is used against an enemy that you sent, it will immediately just cause those enemies to turn into allies, kind of like this, kind of like that. And what that does is essentially counter the attack you just spent hundreds of thousands of cash and econ on, and essentially the enemy, you are now open to a counter because you just spent all your econ and cash on a big attack, and somebody literally just used Lefelt to counter it, which is why Lefelt is literally a must-ban unit. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and claim your badge. Subscribe right now before we get to 100k. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace out.